My name is, I'm Tracy Brockman. I'm head of the Business Support and Development team at South Cambridgeshire District Council, and we're delighted to welcome our expert speakers, Claudine Smith, who is head of recruitment at Kameo Recruitment, and Kaylee DeLacy, who is Kameo's strategy manager. I'd like to say a big thank you to them for taking the time to speak to us today. It's lovely to see you here, so please keep your cameras on, but could we ask that you stay on mute and use the chat function to ask questions or save them up to ask Claudine and Kaylee after the presentation. The webinar is being recorded and we will send the link around in the next few days. We're also going to add it to YouTube. This is the first in a series of recruitment events run in conjunction with the Cambridgeshire Chambers of Commerce, joined by experts across the district. So please keep an eye out for social media for more details of future events, or drop your contact details in the chat function if you would like us to email you registration details for the next event. I'll now hand over to Claudine and Kaylee to share their expert insights on how to recruit and retain the right people for your business. Over to you, ladies.
Thanks, Tracy.
Thanks, Tracy. Hello and welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. As Tracy said, my name's Claudine and I am head of recruitment at Kameo Recruitment. And we are here to talk about and discuss and answer any questions, obviously, with regards to how to attract and retain the best people for your jobs. First and foremost, the struggle is real. You're not alone out there. Everybody's in the same boat. We've collaborated with a lot of other companies, internal recruiters, other recruitment agencies, and the candidate market is very fast. And it is not only just fast, but it's actually quite scarce at the moment. So it's about finding ways to really just the top tips of attracting this talent and therefore obviously keeping them. So hopefully this presentation will give you a few pointers in order to support that. So today we'll understand the benefits people are really after within your industry, or the specialism you are hiring within, and things like benefits to do with hybrid working, enhanced pension, private pension, what's important for the people that are coming into your business. Also, to ensure the opportunity stands out, your job spec, is it selling the role? Is it selling the company? Is it selling the role, not just searching? Put yourself into the candidate's shoes. It must showcase what your business offers as well as what you need. Also, really important is the team around you and the culture around you. So showcase your team and how much they love working for the business. People really buy from people, especially in the current market. And streamline your process. I think I just started off by saying working fast and think quickly is positive results at the moment. People who are sitting back and the recruitment process or attraction method that is quite long-winded, it is very frustrating because people and candidates are getting snapped up within a week, whereas it used to be within sort of 3 or 4. So really needs to streamline the business.
We had a Monday to Friday turnaround this week. Last week actually we had a candidate job went out on a Monday and I think it was placed by Friday. So that is how fast it's moving.
It needs to be, yeah.
So how do I know the benefits people are looking for? This might seem obvious, but we're going to cover it off anyway. So we've come up with 3 key ways of working this out. It's a bit Marmite, the first one, LinkedIn polls. Some people love them, some people hate them. We do run them here at Kameo, and we've had some really interesting results from a LinkedIn poll. What your marketing team can do, or what a head of department can do, or indeed what you can do yourself, is just put a poll together that say, what benefits are you looking for? If you were to look for a job today, what would you want to know that company is offering? You can only put in 3 answers, but you'll get an idea or a view of what the market is looking for. The answers are all anonymous and people love sharing their opinion. How quick are we to share an opinion? So LinkedIn polls, they really work for us. Ask the people that currently work for you. Yes, it's changed. You may well have hired them pre-COVID. Maybe you did a virtual onboarding. What really stood out to them? Why did they apply for that role? Because they are your talent. They love working for you. So ask them why they're there. That the benefits to them may not be the same benefits to you. So it's really worth asking them those questions. Research and network. Don't be afraid to ask for help. When you're researching what benefits people are currently offering, competitors in your market, both nationally, internationally, it doesn't matter. When you're at a networking event, if you get onto the conversation of benefits, at a networking event, people love to have a chat. That's what you're there for. Ask them those questions because people like to help people. You can even start with, oh, I wonder if you could help me. What kind of benefits are you offering your employees at the moment? We're really looking at enhancing those for our business. And you do have to be aware that people's budget when it comes to these things. It really varies, but I can probably hand on heart say, and I'm sure Claudine, you will agree, that when you see a benefits package, there are some things that do cost the earth and they're not going to be applicable to a smaller business because that smaller business can't offer them. But there are other things that you do have. For example, we get a day off on our birthday month. I see that as a massive benefit. That's lovely. Not every employer offers that. Many of us have to take our birthday off if we so choose.
So with this next slide here, it's how to make a recruitment opportunity stand out. Just to give you some facts here and some figures that we found. Publish a recruitment video to go with your advert. Now, this is also a bit of Marmite. Some people like to do it, some people don't. But actually, the hit rate and the greater success of application proves by 34% by doing a recruitment video, it will attract people. It's something different, which not everybody's doing in the market. And it doesn't have to be clipped by a professional photographer or videographer. It can just be something that you do. It doesn't have to necessarily be the HR or recruiting manager. It could be anything from a colleague to somebody who feels comfortable. Just saying what the advert involves, doesn't have to be long, but there's 34% greater application rate from doing it. Also, when writing your advert, put yourself in the reader's shoes. Now, this is something that's really important to us at Kameo. It's not about what we want from the candidate, it's what the client can give the candidate. So we do assume that we know nothing about the business, and we put in the words or the adjectives that are really going to stand out with regards to other competitors. So that will be about, and we go on to this a bit later, but things that they will get from working with us, the culture that they will be in, the flexibility that they will be joining, the collaboration that they will feel, as well as obviously the important things like the job spec and you know, the duties that you're looking for them to do. So just put yourself into their shoes. Also, where it's been posted, that's really important because you need to know your target market. And if you're recruiting for several roles within your business, it could be that you're looking for a diverse skill base. So it could be that you could be looking for an operative or a marketeer or even somebody on the C-suite. But either way, there is a job board or somewhere where you can, which will bring back the highest sort of attraction. So as it says there, does your role suit the medium it's posted on? We find LinkedIn is really good and really suited for specialist roles and commercial roles, whereas Facebook is better suited for hands-on roles and entry-level positions. So just know your market and know where the sort of attraction rate will be best. Use simple JPEGs images. I'm sure Kaylee will talk to you about this because we do that here at Kameo. But Pexels, they're a great free website and full of enticing content. So it just means it's visual and it's not just all full of words. Next, emojis. Again, another statistic. We love a statistic here. 92% of the online population use emojis. Some people say it's not necessarily right in the professional commercial world. There's a place for it and there's not a place for it, but that statistic shows evidence that it just shows a little bit more personality if you're that sort of, you know, company that wants to encourage that. What are your USPs? Everyone has them, but not everybody shouts about them. So again, it doesn't necessarily have to be just on the benefits. It could be on other USPs that we'll go into a bit later. And lastly, offer an internal referral scheme, which again, we'll talk about later.
So these are just a couple of typical recruitment posts for our own social media channels here at Kameo. Now, we are a recruitment agency, which means that there are certain things we are unable to disclose, but we always try to make sure that we have a point of contact there. We like to have a visual aid so people can put a face to the name if you like. We like to include the salary. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to have a salary. We hear time and time again, oh, it's competitive. What does that mean? What is a competitive salary? Generally speaking, in my professional opinion, if you say a salary is competitive, have you actually thoroughly looked into that? Do you know what a competitive market rate is? For example, if I'm a candidate and you're saying this is competitive, if I were to say to you, what is the competitive market rate? I would want you to be able to statistically prove to me that this is a competitive market rate. We do appreciate that it's hard to always include the salary because of other people that work within the team or within the business. However, when you can, please do put it because you will find that you're getting more options. The location is also important, not just where the office is based, but actually, is this role remote? Is it hybrid? Include those things in there. What's the industry and what are the requirements? Now, you can put your own branding on here. You can put your own logos on here. This is an easy, relatively easy post that we put together through Photoshop, and Photoshop is a paid platform, but as Claudine mentioned earlier, there is PEC sales. There are other free platforms you can use to create a compelling social media post. This is, as Claudine touched on, sometimes you are looking for multiple jobs, and you can include those all on the same social media post as well. The contact person may be different, and as you can see, we haven't got a visual there. We don't know who the job is for, but we have a little megaphone, just something that's a little bit eye-catching. Oh, what is that Kameo are posting there? Oh, it's their jobs of the week. Oh, actually, that's quite interesting. I want to apply for that one. And again, it's branded with Kameo, not any other company, because we can't. But you know your industry, and you know the kind of people you're looking for, presumably. So just match what you're posting to your target audience.
So now we move on to how to attract the workforce you want. And there's several ways you can use to do this. So if we start from the top left, can an employee or customer provide you with a testimonial? Testimonials are an unbiased opinion which builds trust and washes away skepticism. This is really important, and whether this is on your social media, whether this is on your website, whether this is on your LinkedIn profile, it just really does create that brand and show people out external to your company, what it's like to work, or what you're like to work for with it as an individual. So testimonials are really worth their weight in gold, and really very much an untapped market, I would say. Next one, regularly shout about your company culture and your values and the differences you're making. Candidates now, in my humble experience, aren't just looking for salary and potentially the benefits. They're actually looking for the full package. Yes, of course, hybrid and remote working, after what we've been through, does play a part significantly at the moment. But actually, people are now looking for more. They're looking for the company cultures. They're looking for the values, and they want somebody not just to say them, but actually live and breathe them. And we go on to that a bit later. So again, make sure that if you are doing it, you are shouting about it on your social media, on your website, or just networking meetings that Kaylee spoke about. Again, development, invest in training. 74% of employees say that they would stay at a company longer if they just simply invested in them helping to learn more. That's a LinkedIn report from a couple of years ago. Now we partner with a Centre of Excellence, and this allows us to offer up to 70% of course price across so many courses. This collaboration that we have in place really helps us with our internal staff, but also something that we can sort of promote and let other people know externally. So it's really worthwhile, if you haven't got an L&D team, to actually just look outside and just see if there's external people that can support you in investing in training and upskilling your workforce. Next, to create a simple flyer, shouting out about the benefits you're working on. I'm taking you go for it. Sorry.
I'll just interject. Carry on. Create a simple flyer. So this is all about again, marketing elements. So you create a simple flyer shouting about the benefits of working for you. Again, it's something that's eye-catching. You can print it off. You don't have to. So you can print it off via Vistaprint. That's the platform we use, but there are others. I think Optimal Print is one, for example, and you can actually deliver that. You can put it up somewhere if you want. You can take it to networking events. You can scope out where it would be appropriate. For example, are people doing candidate open days? We know the Cambridge Network do plenty of open days. Would that be appropriate? That we also then, if we're going to do something digital, we actually use Canva quite a lot. There are hundreds of free templates that you can use and work with very, very easily. It would take you not even a day, not even half a day, to get to grips with Canva and create something that's really nice and simple, which shout about the benefits of working for you, or the culture, or what it is that you do that makes you different. What's your USP? And I think I have touched on this at the beginning, but I really can't hone in enough about attending networking events. We did it online during the pandemic. That kept our brand alive. We work in recruitment. We are a recruitment industry. We didn't have a job effectively. We had nothing to work on in the beginning of the beginning of the pandemic. What did we do? We networked. We kept our brand alive. We kept our name out there. There is no reason you shouldn't still be doing that. You need to be attending networking events or similar. It doesn't have to be a networking event. Whatever is appropriate for your industry, get in front of people virtually or in person. That, as it says here, it's just an opportunity for you to share what it's like, showcase what it's like to work for your business. How fun is it to work for your business? And that's not necessarily you recruiting people. That's word of mouth marketing. That's you getting in front of somebody, and then you go, yeah, we've got this IT role, it's really hard to fill, and that person that you're talking to, maybe they're not in IT, they might be in marketing or they might be in sales, but they go, oh, do you know what? Actually, my brother-in-law's in IT. I reckon he'd love to work for you. It's relationship building. That's what it comes down to. People buy from people, as Claudine has said, and word of mouth marketing works a treat. Do you have a careers page on your website? Do you have a join us page? Are you utilizing it? Are you maximizing that to the full? Are you hoping that people just land on your careers page? Because they won't. You need to be sharing it. You need to be sharing it all over any social media platform you use. You need to share your careers page. You need to share your join us page, and you need to make sure that that careers page and that join us page is current, is kept up to date. You've got all of your latest jobs on there, and that those jobs are full, like bursting with the points that Claudine and I are discussing today. And your join us page is relevant. It stands out. What does your what's your timeline? What are your core achievements as a business? Testimonials, why do people want to work for you? That's what all those things that should be on that careers or join us page. We recently created a company prospectus. I've done a bit of market research, and actually it's not something that is widely available within the recruitment world, but why not? So we found it to be a really useful hiring tool, and it will feature on our join us page on our new website, which is currently in process. So it summarizes the company foundation, so why we exist, who we are. It's got business growth, our timeline, our successes, our core achievements as a business. It includes our incentives and commission structure. I will say there that if you are a sales business, or if there are things that you want to keep to yourself, i.e. you don't want to share them with competitors, we have two versions. So we've got one that you see on our website, and then there is another one that we would show to people who were genuinely interested in joining Kameo. We've got quotes from internal staff, and that's not just the leadership team, that's just me and Claudine and Diane. I'm actually not even on it. I meant Sharon, not Diane. But it's staff that is their genuine opinion, what it feels like to work with us. And that's not, we've not told them what to say. They've just told us what it's like to work for Kameo. And that's something you can update year on year as your successes change. I would recommend just looking at that once a quarter, just to see if what you want to add on to that. And we do have at the beginning of that, in the company foundation page, a quote from our director, Sharon, because it's important for us as a small business. We want people to understand why Kameo exists the way that it does. The benefits of a prospectus for us personally are it eliminates some of that early questioning that you might get when you are hiring people. It takes away some of the whys and the what ifs, and ultimately, as we've emphasized a lot today, company culture is everything to everyone at the moment, and it gives the outside world a genuine feel for your company culture. And we have analyze our prospectus again and again, and we've actually showcased it to people now, and we're getting some really good feedback. So if you don't have one and you've got the time to do it, and I will say that other than the time it's cost me to do it as an employee of Kameo, it was free of charge. So just some examples of the work we've created to help create a picture of the Kameo team and culture that regularly go out on our social media feeds. And that isn't just when we're hiring, can I add? This is all of the time. You always need to be aware that when you're socially sharing what your business does and what it feels like to work for your business, you're never going to please everyone, and not everyone is going to like what you do, which is absolutely fine, because you don't necessarily want those people to work for you anyway. So we are true to ourselves. You get the truest version of us via our social media platform, and we come up with fun and inventive ways of what Kameo means to us, our core values. We've got the JPEG in the top left there of who our consultants are, and we've also got a handout version of that we can share with our clients. There's an example there of a testimonial as well with Claudine's lovely face on it, and a link to our Google reviews, because actually if you've got a Google reviews page, a lot of people will be sharing their testimonials there, so you want people to find out a little bit more, and that's a great call to action at the bottom there. Just again, company culture continued. We've got we like to share the good work that people are doing, so we've got some congratulations, we've got some Friday thoughts or a wrap up of the week. Depending on your industry, you could share some wow news from the industry, so the people that are looking in go, wow, they're really on it, they're really aware of what is going on within their industry. That's the kind of people I want to work for. The social aspect, it's not for everyone. Not everyone wants to mix with the people that they work with outside of office hours. We personally love it here at Kameo, and we've got an example there of us punting last summer.
So what does your business offer to potential employees? This is what you need to think. You need to be clear about what you're offering. Sometimes less is more. Be concise, and I think you'll attract a much higher sort of people coming back to you. What makes you different to other businesses, especially those in the same industry or competitors? Now, we've talked a lot about this. Again, we'll talk about the USPs, we've talked about the culture, we've talked about sort of, you know, the things that you can offer. But these are the sort of things that we need to shout about and not just presume that people will find out or that people will ask. We need to make sure that they know it. Again, I think Kaylee's mentioned, use statistics on your social media advert. It is an important thing to do, because it isn't just then us saying this is what Kameo thinks, it's actually this is what LinkedIn thinks, this is what this job board thinks, or this is what the industry thinks. So it's a really good thing to put those statistics on the adverts as well, and all related hiring posts. So people, as we put here, love a stats. They're precise and they're definite. Here, the last one, what are the additional benefits for working for you? Again, create a JPEG if possible, which outlines those benefits. Again, they're not all financial. And if you're not sure about what your business has to offer outside the standard benefit, then ask your team or collaborate via networking or using, you know, colleagues or, you know, competitors that you know within the business. People do love to share, and especially I think the collaboration externally is so much higher now than it ever was before. And, you know, I think that is really important, because you do need to know that actually are your benefits standard benefits, or actually are they things to shout about? And if they are standard benefits, is there anything you can do in order to make them more attractive or make the overall package more attractive when you're attracting the right people? Next, to spread the word about what makes you different.
So community engagement, we have as I have explained, we are going through a website update at the moment, but we do have and will continue to have a community engagement page. We are passionate about collaborating with charitable organisations, and we genuinely like to build sustainable relationships across, you know, initially it was regional, it was throughout Cambridgeshire. I would go so far as to say that we now do that across the UK. We literally invest our time and our skills into ensuring that we are creating a happier place for everyone within the UK. It's one of our core USPs. We are passionate about it. We look at it when we're hiring. What is somebody's thoughts on giving back? Is it important to you? Because if it's not important to you, you're not going to be invested in Kameo, because it's something that we all do, we all buy into, and we buy into it at different levels, and some of us are more extreme than the others about the volunteering and how much they give back, but it is what makes us different in the community.
And what a lot of candidates, I think, when they're looking, especially now, are really looking for. One of the things we also do with regards to that is Form the Future. This is something that we work really closely with. They are a company that actually work very closely with local schools, and we actually go into schools and we help the students with regards to interview advice, mock interviews, advice on CVs, and just really talking to them about what the options are in the big wide world. I think everyone has had a bit of a struggle in the last couple of years or so, and I think that's had a real knock-on effect to children. So these kids in secondary schools, we have the opportunity to go in and just tell them what's out there, and so they don't leave school and think, you know, it's the bog standard, maybe, you know, teacher, nurse, doctor, whatever. There are so many different areas of work, and if we start this education earlier, then it helps people know that there is so many opportunities and so much diversity in careers within obviously, you know, their opportunities. So we're really big on Form the Future as well.
And the other thing that you may or may not know is we do a lot of work. Our Kameo, the foundation Kameo was built upon, is to raise awareness of domestic abuse, especially amongst businesses. So the statistics on it are crazy. I'm not going to go into that today because that is Sharon's bag, not mine. What we do have is Sharon's policy. It was a document created by our director, Sharon Livermore, who is a survivor of domestic abuse herself, and she wanted to create a policy and I guess guidance notes for employers to help them understand how they can support somebody who is going through domestic abuse. If you are a hiring manager, if you work within HR, at some point within your career, afraid to say it, but you are likely to come across somebody who has already been or is or will be a victim of domestic abuse, and that is both men and women. So that is our USP, and it's a very unique thing that we offer to, again, used to be quite regional. We have spread that internationally, quite honestly, and yeah, that's just an extra thing that we do. It's a Kameo USP.
And I think just to mention that these are all things that I think are really important to us, that when we try and recruit within Kameo Recruitment, they can see that we're not just a one-trick pony on recruitment. We actually do care about other things. So this is things that maybe you can adopt if you're not already adopting, and I'm sure most of you are adopting these, but maybe not shouting out about them as much. So it's not, we're not here to shout about Kameo at all. We're just here to sort of show you a case study of what has really helped with us with regards to our branding and attracting consultants to us internally. And I think it is not just about the benefits and the salary and all of that. It is actually much more external than that, and that's what we're trying to sort of promote here.
It is that you know what your unique selling point is, and I think we are so afraid to almost congratulate ourselves or shout about ourselves, and 9 out of 10 times that what you hear about somebody isn't good, it's not positive. We need to all become better at sharing the good. So if you have a USP and you don't think you're showcasing enough, absolutely do that, because that is what people are going to buy into. That's why people are going to want to join your team. That chances are people can offer the salary you're offering, people can offer their extra day holiday, that birthday day off, but what can't they offer? Because if you're not shouting about that, then you're not standing out from the crowd. So I think, yeah, that's what we're trying to showcase there, that it is possible to stand out from the crowd.
So when you get the advert, and obviously you want to get to the right market group, this is just about where and how to do it. And again, I'm sure a lot of you are doing this already. So not telling you to suck eggs, but just to re-emphasize sort of the areas that you can go to. So obviously, Indeed, it's free of charge and it's really popular. It delivers around about 65 hires and 72% interviews. And that is just on Indeed itself. As I say, it is a free tool, and it's a really popular one at the moment. Another one is obviously your website, and also how easy it is to find on your website the careers page. Now, me being in the job that I am in, I obviously look at a lot of companies' websites and navigate my way around it in order to find the careers page for me to see whether I can help potential clients fill their roles. Some people's websites are so hard to navigate that you actually can't find the careers page, let alone then see if there is anything that you'd be interested in. Now, when the candidate market is as stretched as it is, and it's very much dictated by the candidate, if it's not easy to see, likewise, if the process isn't speedy enough, people will not waste time trying to find it. So make sure it is really obvious on your website. And again, the different platforms that we've talked about, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, talking about the visual JPEGs again that we've talked about, just trying to do it on not just one attack, but actually doing different attacks in different social medias, I think will generate a hell of a lot more interest and attraction, which is what we all need in this market at the moment. Also, again, salary, I can't mention that enough, really. I think it is, and I understand that because of pay parity and all the rest of it, confidentiality is key, but there is a ridiculous statistic, and it's not just agencies and internal recruiters and hiring managers that have said it. I think if you don't put the salary in at the moment, when so many other companies do or are starting to, you won't even get the flow of candidates that you're looking for. And also, if you don't put it in, sometimes it is a waste of time when you will maybe get to interview stage and then somebody's looking for a lot less or a lot more than what you're looking for. It's just that time wasting that you don't necessarily have, you know, time to burn, if you like. And also how, so ask companies that you partner with to promote the advert and share it on their social media channels. That's really powerful, and it extends the spread, especially if there's a remote role or a specialist role you're looking for. People will share it for people's network, and that is really how, especially for LinkedIn, that has really helped with regards to successful placements. And use inclusive words like we, you, I. Use those pronouns just to demonstrate respect and inclusion. Again, that whole collaborative feel. Oh, and I've just duplicated what I was going to say. So yes, include the salary. And I think me and Kaylee have both told about that. I think, if anything, that if you're not doing that and you're not including the salary and you're struggling to get the caliber of candidates, or indeed the quantity of candidates, that would definitely change it.
And just on that, a statistic came through this morning that said that when you are advertising a job, you know, maybe it's a job advert on your website, maybe it's a LinkedIn post or whatever medium you're using, you literally have about 5 seconds to impress before somebody is on to the next one, because that is how fast the market is moving. 5 seconds to impress somebody. You can even do a 5-second test. So that is, maybe you write a job advert, you put a JPEG together, you send it out to some people in your team, you get those people to respond, feedback, send it out to a small demographic of people who don't work for you, but that you know would respond to that. You know, they will give you some true feedback, because 5 seconds is genuinely nothing. And if you've only got 5 seconds to attract somebody, you need to know how to do that. Otherwise, we're not going to get this, we're not going to get out of this cycle.
Also, for refer a friend, a lot of companies already adopt this policy, and any company can adopt it. It doesn't have to be, I know some companies that do a bound payment of 2,500. I know other companies that do £50. So it really, really doesn't matter. It's just another way that you could attract talent and attract like-minded talent. If you have got somebody that can refer a friend, they already work for the company, or the family member does, or anything like that, then predominantly, you know, you are hoping that you'll get the like-for-like person. And it can be quite a quick turnaround, and you know, it could be a cost-effective tool, really. So not going into too much detail, because again, I'm sure you've all read adverts and I don't want to tell you to suck eggs, but this is an advert of what we use at Kameo Recruitment. So this is an advert that we were looking for an IT and engineering recruitment consultant. We work very closely with CV Library, and we get feedback with regards to writing adverts. What's the standouts? I think we've talked about the fact that we need to do the USPs. We need to put ourselves in their shoes, in the candidate's shoes. So yes, you know, you do need to say what sort of company you are. Industry specific is really important for specific roles. But as you can see right the way up at the top, we've gone straight into what's in it for them. What can we give them for them to engage them and to make them read more? You know, if a recruitment consultant is a recruitment consultant, they know the job. If you're I don't know, a HR manager, or you're a marketing exec, a lot of the duties are transferable from different industries or potentially different roles. But what makes us different? What's the USP? So we put that quite high up on the advert to entice them in. Then obviously followed on by the duties and what we're looking for, and then we re-emphasize it at the end. Again, these are the benefits, these are the incentives of working with us. And in conjunction with that, moving forward, we would obviously enclose the perspective, and we would signpost them to our website for them to get a feel with regards to obviously our community engagement. So this, I don't think, is rocket science. I think for the format of it is easy to read. I hope you agree. It's bullet format. It means that somebody can look and just do a tick box of yes, yes, yes. Oh, this looks good. Right, let's click apply, move on to the next one, because that is, as Kaylee said, 5 seconds, they click onto the next advert. So we need to be eye-catching. We need it to look simple, but yet informative, and what is in it for them. And that's just the end of it, what we do for that.
So how to use the process to raise your organisational profile. It's kind of a summary, I think, because a lot of these things we have discussed this afternoon. So recruitment is only part of the picture, but not the full picture. What is your life like once you're on board? So we've touched on videos. We've touched there about, can somebody within the team just put a little video on about advertising the job? Actually, can you get a day in the life of? Do you have an Instagram page that you can showcase, that you can add a day in the life to your stories? Could you put a reel together? Can you do it on LinkedIn? Can you do a LinkedIn live of something fun that you're doing as a team, so they really get that feel for what it's like to work for you? If you don't have one in place, please do develop a social media strategy which focuses on your brand. Brand is kind of the first thing that you want to be promoting when you're posting on LinkedIn, because everything kind of comes back to the brand and how you're showcasing that. My advice is, when you're developing a social media strategy, which for any reason, that you review it regularly as well, because social media changes so quickly, and actually that strategy varies depending on the platform you're using. For example, LinkedIn changed their algorithm, I think it's something like every 3 months. So things that were appropriate 3 months ago aren't appropriate now. So for example, there's a chop and change constantly. And do I share a post? At the moment, lots of people are, if you are posting on social media, get people to write commenting for my network. That's literally all they need to write. So if you're posting an advert on there, you're posting a culture post on there, you're commenting for my network, people will see that and entice them, and it's an attractive feature. If you fundraise, shout about your fundraising. I can't emphasize enough how much millennials love corporate social responsibility. You'll have to forgive me because I can't remember the exact statistic, but it is in the 90% of people that are currently looking for jobs do want to see some kind of corporate social responsibility. Include a call to action on all social media posts. That could be see our website, contact us for more details, donate here, anything at all. You must have a call to action on there, because otherwise people are looking at it, where do we go from here? What do I do next? So if you've got a simple call to action on there, you are directing people to the place that they need to go, and hopefully keeping that line of communication open so that they eventually reach you. Share the onboarding process, keep them keen. The recruitment process doesn't end once they've started the job. You do need a solid 3 to 6 months of building their journey with you. Arrange a team lunch, a drink after work, celebrate the little wins, the end of the first week, the first month, keep celebrating them. Regular training, regular one-to-ones. Don't assume that they know, almost assume that they don't know, because they've never worked for this business before. Even if they've worked for one like it, this is completely new to them. They might have not had a job since COVID. They might have never had a job at all. They really need hand-holding in those first 3 to 6 months. Not all of them, some will come in and they'll fly, but those ones that do, just keep holding their hand, keep reiterating.
And I think, sorry to interrupt, but I think the retaining side of things is nearly as half much the battle is actually attracting them at the moment. There's a lot of counter offers happening. You can't sit in your laurels that once you've got them on board, then that's it, you've got them for X amount of time, because there will still be people that they may have still got their CV on job boards, and there still may be internal recruiters or agencies or other people in their network that are talking to them about, oh, there's this role, oh no, I've got a job now. But if you're not got that plan in place, that sort of training or that onboarding side of things, then that's where it can where candidates can be very despondent, especially in the first 3 to 6 months. So you need to keep them close, and you need to invest in them and in their training and in their development, so then they can see and they've got time to see the culture and everything else that you put in place. Because I think a lot of people are taking jobs and then actually they are getting poached elsewhere. So again, just to sort of reiterate the retaining of new boarders as well.
No, that's fine. Let your personality shine. So studies show more than 57% of consumers purchase from brands with strong personalities. It's so true. If we just think of, I'm just going to think Audi, they're great, they do it very, very well. They are a bit like Marmite. Some people don't like it, some people think it's a bit cliche, but what are people doing? They're talking about them. So people, because they're just simply talking about them, or just simply mentioning them, people are more likely to go into Audi. They're more likely to buy the Caterpillar cake or whatever it is that you're looking for. They're more likely to go there. Don't be afraid to tell people what's happening within your business. As I have said this quite a few times today, share it, showcase it. We're all here. We are on social media because we want to know what you're doing. Otherwise you wouldn't be on social media. You know, you're all influenced by the outside world. You can say you're not, but you are. It's true. That's why social media exists. It's an addictive stream. It's not always great, but if you are doing something wonderful, get on there, share it with people, because once it's out there, and people can go back, they can look at the post, they can look at your Christmas party from 2019 and go, that looked excellent. No, they haven't been able to do it for 2 years, but it looks excellent. They can look at all of the great things that you've done as a business 5 years ago, yesterday, and get a feel from that, get a feel of what you're hoping to do tomorrow and moving forward. And that's essentially it. We are full of tips and tricks. You can find a lot of these things out on our LinkedIn page, on our website. You are absolutely welcome to talk to us if you want any further information or want further advice or guidance on anything that we've discussed today. We massively promote our company values and culture. We do it on Instagram, we also do it on LinkedIn, and we even do it on Facebook actually, and our website, across all of them. So yeah, if you want to know more, then please do follow us or look at our website. Questions?
That's excellent. Thank you so much, Claudine and Kaylee, for a very insightful presentation there. I got a few takes from that, to be perfectly honest, that, you know, more aligns to sort of the importance of creating the brand for your business and the culture in the workplace, which I think is quite useful, quite interesting, and certainly that when you start looking at people are more responsive to video now. So if there is the opportunity there to have one of your existing member of staff that's happy to shout about what you do, then that's absolutely superb. And equally, I fully back the kudos on being on LinkedIn and sharing things, whether that's that you get involved in your community, you know, you funded a few trees, or you're involved in the local community safety awareness campaigns, or anything that's going on along those. We've had a couple of comments that's popped up in the chat function. One that relates to testimonials. The question asks, you know, if this is kind of alluding more to references or both, but I guess what you were talking about there was testimonials, sort of shouting about what the business is like to work for.
That's exactly it.
Absolutely. Testimonials can be about what the business is like to work for, what a particular hiring manager is like to work for, what they like about the company, anything to do with that. So yeah, it's not references or anything like that. It is really for the public forum, for us to shout, or for other people to shout about, you know, an individual or a company or a team.
Excellent, thank you. And another comment on there is regarding to managing personal branding, and you've covered off this sort of fairly well, but there are various resources out there if anybody's stuck, because I mean, at the end of the day, we all know that we're great about running our own businesses. We know all about our businesses, and perhaps marketing and branding is not something that you are fully au fait with. So if anybody wants to touch base with this after that, or drop some details in the link, we can assist with that as well. Okay, is there any further questions or comments from anybody?
I was just trying to put it in. My name's Samantha, and I just had a question around videos and stuff. Because I'm seeing more of these in the job description, send us a video or a 2-minute video to itself. Just two things. Isn't there a danger? I'm just trying to put myself in the opposite shoes. Isn't there a danger of bias? And also, it's for people who are not comfortable with doing videos. When I see that, I just automatically say, looks like a good job, but I don't really feel comfortable wanting to do a video, putting myself in that kind of situation. So I just wanted to ask that question.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not comfortable doing a video, don't do a video. I wouldn't put anyone in front. I would ask them to practice, I think, because ultimately, none of us were comfortable doing social media at one point, and then the pandemic happened. None of us were comfortable getting in front of Zoom on a video, and then the pandemic happened. So I absolutely would never force anyone to do a video, because I think that that's going to probably do more harm than good for them and the business. But I think if you can practice with them, believe it or not, I don't like doing presentations. I can't. It makes me shake. I'm sweating, but I'm here doing it because the more I do it, the better I become at it. So no, absolutely never force anyone to do a video. It is a massive comfort thing. We drip feed into our team to do it when you can, you know, start small, send a little thank you message to a candidate that only they are going to see, and eventually that should lead up to them maybe wanting to post on a social stream. But yeah, never force it. But there's bound to be somebody within the team who goes, oh yeah, that's for me, I'll do it.
And that's what I was just going to say to reiterate that. I think it's not down to the hiring manager. It's not down to the HR consultant. It's not down to, you know, the brand manager. It's actually anyone who feels comfortable. So, you know, it could be somebody in the sales team that's talking about an IT role. They can still say what's great about working in that company and what's great about the opportunity. So it needs to be, you need to work to people's strengths, and not everybody is extrovert or feels comfortable in front of the camera. So absolutely, it doesn't have to be one particular person, but there will be somebody hopefully in your business. And again, if it's any more than a minute, people will be bored. So even more than less than a minute.
10 seconds.
So
that's all you want.
Yeah.
10 seconds, 15. Hope that
Faye.
helps.
Faye, you've got your hand up.
I do. Hello. I'm just putting my camera on as
How
well.
are you?
Hi, very well. Thank you both for taking the time to do the overview today. My question, and I'm sorry I missed the start of it, so I do apologize if you did cover this. There seems to be a little bit of a conflict at the moment as to whether you should be putting in all the perks that go with the job advert as well. So some people are really like, don't tell me it's free coffee in a snack box and a gym membership. I'm not interested in any of that. What's your view on whether you should be including that or not?
I think there's you're absolutely right. That you've hit the nail on the head. There's a lot of chat and a lot of banter with regards to what is a real benefit, because a lot of people say hybrid now is the norm. Well, actually, it's not for everybody. And my humble opinion would be that actually you don't know who your market area is, or the target area that you're looking for. So there could be somebody who doesn't have a benefit of fruit, and actually fruit benefit would be a benefit for them. You could have other people that have free lunch, and therefore fruit would be nothing. And I don't think you can satisfy everybody, but I think that if it is something that's out of your salary and your normal package, then I absolutely think you should sing from it, because I just think some companies don't have the budget and the money for massive lavish, you know, events or team nights out or whatever, but actually they offer a lot more incentives with maybe internal development and stuff like that. So I think whatever it is, I would absolutely shout from the rafters with it.
And I think you almost lose nothing by saying it. So even if you've said it and it's there on the advert and somebody's going, oh, I don't need to know that. Point is, they've looked. Whereas if you don't include it and somebody misses you, because I don't know what the benefits are, and actually that job sounds really like mine, but actually for all we know, they could give you £1,000 for training, £2,000 for training. We don't know, which actually might be what that person's looking for. Maybe they're stuck in a rut. They don't know where they're going with this job. But actually, one of the benefits of this job is we invest in training and development. If it's not there, they're never going to know to apply. But actually, if it is there, all you're doing by having the benefits on there is potentially not even putting people off. They're going, I don't really need to know this, but the job looks great, I'll apply anyway. You actually could potentially, in my opinion, lose candidates by not including those benefits.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I know Tracy put her hand up. I'm going to take the liberty of asking another one, if I may, very quickly. Just your views on 4-day week, because obviously there's trials all over the world on that at the moment. And more importantly, and again, sorry if you've already covered this, the flexible working. Like I don't really mind what hours people work as long as they do the job. What's your view on that, and how much of a nightmare is it for recruitment? And then I'm not going to ask anything else.
And Faye, I'm just going to say nightmare. Nightmare. I think there is a lot of I think people are a lot clearer now. I think sort of 4 or 5 months ago, it was this whole thing of, are we going to offer hybrid? Are we not? Are we going to do remote? When are people coming in? And I think slowly companies have made decisions with regards to flexible working or hybrid working. I think it depends really on what industry you're in, to what people offer. And I think there are companies that offer it straight from the outset. Some of it offer it after training. And I think that my humble opinion is that on the training side of things, dependent on what job you go into and what industry you're in, training is really important, that there is some contact with team or the trainer or anything like that. So I think we have clients, most of our clients, if I'm honest, have gone back to hybrid working. Some of our clients are adamant that it is going to be full in the office. So there's a real cross section, and that has been a factor why candidates are looking to move on, and that is definitely something that's a hot topic with regards to one of the main key things that our candidates are looking for. 4-day week, I think, is interesting, because I think, again, it depends on your business, and you have to look in your business as an individual, because I think that, as you quite rightly said, Faye, is that if the productivity is there and the results are speaking from yourself, dependent on the manager and the hiring manager and the directors, it could work really well. But I think it does depend on the industry, and I think it does depend on the role that you're doing. So I think it's as I say, we have some clients that will do fully remote. That tends to be a lot more on what I would call the IT roles. A lot of our companies do 60-40, but again, I think a lot of them are doing that after the training side of things. So I think it's a bit of a personal.
Yeah, it seems to be the general, especially well in this area and across East Anglia, the generic is there is a little bit of hybrid. Some clients are saying no, everyone in. Some clients are doing fully remote. It's a real mixed bag. 4-day week, we've not had a huge amount. We've not personally experienced a huge amount of it. My personal opinion on it is, I'm really interested to see how it plays out. I don't know if I'm for or against it until I've seen it play out. That's the truth, because we've not experienced it yet.
And there's another one on that, just to put it to the table. We had a lot of people in LinkedIn have done this thing about unlimited holidays.
Oh, yeah.
And they have offered unlimited holidays, which is a little bit like Marmite, because I know that if I had unlimited holidays, I probably wouldn't take any, because I just don't, some people don't, and that side of it. You also have other people that would potentially take liberty and take it to the other extreme. So I think I know, a couple of companies that have tried it. One has reverted back. One has said that their staff don't always use it. So again, I think that's up at the moment. It's a very new idea, which I think is blowing people's minds.
Yeah.
Excellent, thank you. Is there any other questions or comments from anybody? No, okay. I just want to take this opportunity to thank Kaylee and Claudine for the presentation. I think we've all taken some useful insights back from this. As I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, this is part of a series of events that Chambers of Commerce are running, working with sort of experts across the district. So please do drop us the details if you'd like us to email you details of the next event, which we're hoping will take place early July. Just want to say thank you to everybody for joining us here today. Hope you found it useful and wishing you all a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Jordan, you still with us? Go on. Can anybody see who this last person is, this user? Zoe?
No, I can't. It just says user, I'm afraid.
Can you remove them
Um,
in the nicest way?
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Did they leave?
Well done, team.
yeah, thank you guys. That was really good.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
thanks ever so much.
Yeah,
Thank you. I hope it was informative.
I think it covered off an amazing amount of points in there. So some obvious, some that we've forgotten, but you know, really got across this whole point of social media, the importance of creating a brand and you know, getting the culture out there so people think, hey, this is really a business that I want to work for. And I think that's key, certainly as we've come out of the storm of the pandemic. I think it's you know, employees are looking for more now, aren't they? They're looking for investment in their future. So it's not just you invest in them. It's about the, you know, the investment that they put into the business.
Tracy, being completely honest with you, they're borderline asking for too much.
Too much, far too much.
But
They are.
because they're all doing it, clients are responding because they're all asking for more money than they would have even got 2 years ago.
I think it's going to be a bubble and it's going to burst. And I think what they're going to have is a lot of pay, different pay. And I think what's happened is when the market becomes a lovely place, you're going to have two people doing exactly the same role with a £5 pay difference. And that's going to upset people that have given loyalty, stability, commitment, and they're going to lose people. And I think that's what's going to happen because honestly, candidates are demanding
They really
the
are,
world.
aren't they? They really are.
We've seen it as well. I think some of the advice we've given, because some of the smaller companies perhaps can't afford the larger salaries. So it is about investment in training, investment in the future. But not only that, it's perhaps looking at bonus. You know, in these testing times where everybody's faced with sort of rising fuel costs, for example, and, you know, increasing their shopping bills every week, you know, if there's an opportunity, the benefit of a bonus is that, you know, it's a year end, thank you for your support. It doesn't necessarily have to stay without affecting that bottom line salary and, you know, benefits that come with the job. But no, I found this really, really useful and thank you both for putting that presentation together and standing up and delivering it. Very,
No
very
problem,
useful.
absolute pleasure.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Anybody else got any comments before we say cheerio?
Just another big thank you.
Yeah.
No worries. Thanks, Paul.
Okay. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
see you later. Take care.
Take care. Bye bye now.
Bye.